Hi everybody, this is Meg from Farmgirl Flowers, and today I'm here to just go over a quick few little care tips that we have for peonies. There's a lot of concerns about peonies, which I understand because they're not really one of the easiest flowers to maintain. One of the primary things that's causing the issues is concerns about the leaves when your peonies arrive. These leaves actually have been hydrated overnight. They look really healthy, but the leaves are often the first thing on the stem to dehydrate overnight through shipping. Sometimes when they arrive to you at home, the leaves might look really droopy and kind of sad. And this isn't necessarily an indicator that the peony is dehydrated, and it's not an indicator that there's anything wrong with the peony, but it is an indicator that the leaves are dehydrated. So you actually can go ahead and just take the leaves off. It's really easy to just process the leaves off, and you're actually going to want to remove the leaves for when you style your peonies anyways. So removing the leaves, giving it a trim at a 45-degree angle, and placing it in water and letting it really soak up as much water as it can is really going to help rehydrate your peonies, and this is also going to help them open. Don't be too concerned about wilty looking leaves, and just go ahead and remove those, because once they're removed and you trim your stem, it's actually going to help the peony soak up more water and not have to go replenish all of those leaves that have gotten wilty overnight in shipping, and it's going to help the peony be able to bloom faster. The next tip that I have for getting your peonies to open, and actually a lot of the peonies that I have here today are already bloomed, so it's not really an issue, but I'm still going to show you how we can get them to bloom quicker. So you'll notice that on the back of the head of your bloom, of your bud, there's these little green petals or sort of leaves that are protecting the outside of your bud. And if your bud comes and it's really, really tightly closed and you can actually only see these green petals, it's okay to go ahead and just gently peel those away. And that's actually just going to help encourage the peony to bloom quicker. So another tip for helping your peonies to bloom faster is you really want to make sure that you get them hydrated as soon as possible. As soon as you remove them from the packaging, you want to give them a trim. It's important to trim them at a 45-degree angle so that you have as much surface area on the end of the stem as possible so that the peony can really soak up as much fresh, cool water as possible. This will help your flower rehydrate, and then if it's a hydrated flower, it's going to bloom faster. So really important to hydrate your flower. Another really important point for peony care is once your blooms have opened, peonies are a flower with a little bit of a shorter lifespan. And this is okay because they're a very show-stopping flower when they're fully bloomed. But as we know from peony experience, this full bloom really only lasts for a couple of days. So the whole life cycle might be a week or so, but the full bloom, when it reaches this point, is really only going to last for a couple of days, and that's totally normal. It's just a flower that naturally has a slightly shorter life cycle, so you really want to enjoy those show-stopping blooms for the majority of time that you can. One of the ways that you can help your flowers last as long as possible is by keeping them away from any direct heat source or direct sunlight. So putting these directly on your kitchen windowsill where you get hot sun beating down on them all day is definitely not going to help them last for as long as possible. So maybe move them a few feet away from your window and just keep them away from any direct heat source. So any room that gets particularly warm through the day, these guys are going to be just a little unhappy. Another thing that you can do is make sure that your peonies are always in fresh water, so change their water every single day. This will really help ensure that A, there's no bacteria growth in the water, which we know can be bad for flowers, and B, that they always have fresh, cool water without dirt or debris that they can soak up and remain hydrated. These are the things that are going to help your peonies last for as long as possible. One other tip that I have about peonies, because I know that this is somewhat of a concern for a lot of people when you get your peonies and the bud is really closed and you just want to encourage it to open. So there is one way that we found at the shop that helps to open peonies faster, and this is by massaging the head of the peony, which sounds a little bit silly, but it really just means you're sort of gently pinching the head of the peony and just encouraging it to sort of like spring back a little bit. And this is gonna help like loosen up the petals a little bit and encourage the peony to open. So if you have a peony that's sort of like part of the way opening, like this one, it can really help it to just sort of continue to open up wider. And you're just gonna sort of gently at the base of the flower, not at the top because you don't want to bruise the petals, but at the base here, just gently pinch and move the flower around. So that's one tip. A few people at Farmgirl have a really interesting trick, which is if the flower is really, really tight, you actually put it against your chin and you use your chin to just kind of like gently rub around the head of the flower. And it really does the same thing. It's the same premise as massaging it, but it's basically just to sort of apply pressure to the base of the petals here and help them to spring open a little bit. Just encourage them gently to loosen up a little bit. This has been Meg with some Peony Care tips, and this video will really be helpful for any of our products that have peonies, whether that's a bouquet that includes peonies or one of our single stem peony only varieties. So I hope this helps, and thank you again for watching.